दोस्तों पार्ट टाइम मनी की लेटेस्ट अपडेट्स के लिए सब्सक्राइब करिए पार्ट टाइम मनी को और बेल आइकन को प्रेस करिए।
Now to a CNN News 18 exclusive, the Bitcoin frenzy has taken over the world, but this cryptocurrency bubble has a dark side to it. The Delhi police has unearthed a massive fraud involving locally operated cryptocurrency companies. CNN News 18 now brings to you exclusive details about this mega Bitcoin Ponzi scheme. Delhi police confirms that they are keeping an eye on the activities of a few alleged cryptocurrencies like LLC coins, Bullcoin, Lakshmi coin, which claim to have RBI's approval, but their claims are completely false. Cashcoin is also one such alleged cryptocurrency. More than 8 complaints have been made. 5 FIRs have also been lodged with the Delhi police, which has made 1 arrest in this new Ponzi scheme. The financial fraudsters are clearly taking advantage of this mania for cryptocurrency. And to get a better perspective on what exactly is this fraud all about, I'm being joined in the studio by Mr. Himanshu Verma. He is an employment and economic expert. Very good morning to you, sir. Himanshu, could you give us a better idea about how exactly does this fraud take place? Who are the people targeted and how are they targeted?
Sure. So, Edwin, we need to understand that there's several kinds of fraud which are happening. One is the kind of fraud where people are running new cryptocurrencies, like we're talking about Cashcoin and certain other currencies, ATCs, Lakshmi. So what they are doing is they are setting, there are few investors which are coming together. They are setting up a new cryptocurrency. They are investing their own money and then running it as an MLM scheme, multi-level marketing scheme. They are instigating people, pushing people, motivating them to invest money, assuring them high returns post a certain amount of time. Let's say there's a currency which starts from 1 rupee, so they on their own self. So there's no, there's no technology which is brought into focus there. What they are simply doing is it's an MLM scheme. They'll invest, they'll want and they'll motivate people to invest in this when the prices, certainly to a bit extent would go high. They'll take off their money and the people would get duped. So this is what it is happening. This happened in the Cashcoin case also, where 50 crores, around 50 crores of rupees was duped from the people.
So Himanshu, what would be your suggestion to people who may have already been approached by these fraudsters? How do you find out whether a person is actually invested in Bitcoin, and how do you spot the fraudster?
Sure. See, the idea is very simple. Since the Indian government has not legalized it, so they are not giving any registrations or they are not registering any exchanges for the Bitcoins or any cryptocurrencies. Till the time the government is not legalizing it in India, we should not invest in any cryptocurrencies which are there in India. That is the Indian context. Secondly, if you want to invest also, there are few exchanges where the exchange is happening for a cryptocurrency which is global, because these Indian cryptocurrencies are not global. Like if you talk about Bitcoin, Ripple, these are being globally traded. Any cryptocurrency which is from the Indian context or originated from India has not been originated globally. So they are only Indian investors. So anybody who's investing, he first needs to understand that since it does not have a legal tender in India, so they should not be investing in any of these schemes.
But then again, Himanshu, given the fact that most of these cryptocurrencies, they are, at least some of them, they are associating themselves with Bitcoin, which has become very famous now. It has been on in the market for over a decade now. It is almost like trading in shares. There is no solid asset backing them. So people will have a tendency to, buy into this whole concept about how exactly they can go about making extra money using internationally acclaimed Bitcoin currency scheme right here in India. What would you tell them?
So see, it's very simple, the technology, on the technological aspects, they are very, very strong. The Bitcoin technology, which is the blockchain technology that is being used, is very strong. So there's no as such flaw in terms of the technological understanding there. But the fraudsters, the con men, where they come into light is where they are putting in few different apps, few new apps, few websites where people are trading, and finally what is happening is they are getting either their account blocked or their money is said that now it has they have closed due to higher traffic. So people need to understand that there are only very, very few exchanges which are there. So I'll give you an example. So there are few Japanese exchanges which are there. So 11 Japanese such exchanges were legalized in September. So if they want to invest, they should invest with some exchanges which have been legalized by that country's legislature.
Okay.
Like for South Korea, I'll talk about South Korea. I'll also talk about China. So there also we have a lot of traffic which is coming on the cryptocurrency side.
Okay.
But recently, just yesterday, day before yesterday, the finance minister in South Korea said that they are still into the discussion of shutting down the these exchanges.
Okay.
So then again, there's a question mark. So people, whosoever gets a news like this, he should firstly take off their money from those markets. They should only invest in those markets and those exchanges which are legitimate and are recognized by the legislature of that particular country.
Okay.
So that is what we need to see.
Okay.
Because if it does not has the legal tender in that country, so you are getting into, of course, you are getting into a Ponzi scheme then. It is not legalized.
True. Just hold on there, Himanshu. We're also being joined by our correspondent Nitisha Kashyap. She's the one who got us all these exclusive details from the Delhi police. Nitisha, what are the Delhi police telling you? Is this a case of simple fraud, or is there more than what meets the eye?
Well, Delhi police is saying that, in fact, they have arrested one person called Nagendra. He's 32-year-old from Sonipat, and he was the one who was operating Kucoin. He has been alleged of duping a lot of people. Apart from that, Delhi police is also saying that they are looking into the Hawala transactions also. They have learned from the intel sources that even the Hawala transactions are happening through Bitcoin. And not just that, a fresh complaint has been received by Delhi police against one Amit Bharadwaj. He's absconding. He's from Shalimar Bagh, and he claims to be the owner of Gain Bitcoin. He has duped a lot of people, saying that their money will be, they will be given 10% every month of whatever they are investing, and it's better than the Bitcoin that is right now in the market. So there is a lot of complaint that has been received. Delhi police is saying that with Bitcoin there is a positive side that people are gaining money, but also the white collar crime has also increased, and for them it has become a little difficult to trace those criminals, because the Hawala transaction happening through Bitcoin is little difficult for them to establish.
Okay, and Nitisha, could you also give us an idea about how rampant, how widespread is this menace related to cryptocurrency, this fraud cryptocurrency, in fact, as far as India is concerned?
Well, if we talk about the investigative agencies, even the national investigative agencies are also looking after this these cases. In fact, if we talk about just Delhi police so far have lodged 5 FIRs and more than 8 complaints have been lodged with respect to Bitcoin. Now, these complaints are of different nature. These also include the ransomware attack. There are 3 businessmen who have lodged an FIR with Delhi police, saying that their system have been hacked and they are being asked to pay in Bitcoin. So all these are under investigation. So far no one has been arrested in these cases, but Delhi police has said that they have, in cases where they have the complainant has received email, they have traced the email to US, and in some cases the complainants have also received call asking them to pay in the Bitcoin. So they are saying that they are looking into all this chain.
Okay, thanks a lot for those information that you're giving us, Nitisha. Himanshu, you just heard what Nitisha had to say about how the Delhi police is also finding it a little difficult to trace these transactions. What kind of help do you think that our police here back in India would require in order to trace down these transactions? Because as far as I know, any such transaction that takes place with regards to Bitcoin or a Ponzi scheme that takes place on the digital arena, it's really difficult to track them down.
Absolutely. It's very difficult because, these are all pseudonymous.
Exactly. Yeah.
These are not anonymous, they are pseudonymous. You even don't know who is doing it. There's only an address which is there. And, decoding that address is very difficult, because once you have people, peers which are there globally, and there are numerous people. So it's very, very difficult for at least the Indian police to decode it. So the best advice, and people have to be cautious. How they have to be cautious is because when they are eager and inquisitive about Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency, then only that intrusion takes place. What happens is when somebody is, on and off, and on a regular basis viewing videos about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, or they are going on such such websites or such apps. So what happens is they get to understand, the fraudster, the unethical hackers, they get to understand that this is the person who is really interested in such kind of transaction. So there is where the flaw comes in, and they throw a fraud plan in front of that investor. And this is how he gets into that trap.
Okay, and Himanshu, now Bitcoin has been around for, if I'm not mistaken, for over a decade and a half. Now, it is not, now India will not be the first place where all this fraud is happening with relation to Bitcoin. It has already been, it has been happening in various other Eastern nations. It has been happening all across Europe. I'm pretty sure that the security agencies, the investigative agencies there must be having some sort of a plan to nab these fraudsters. Do you think that the Indian investigative agencies could learn something from there before this actually turns into a full-blown menace right here in India?
So Edwin, just to answer that, Canadian Anti-Fraud Center, which is again like a CIA or a CBI in India, so they themselves have published a data which is of around $1.7 million, which where this duping or fooling has taken place, and then they are hardly able to do anything. They're just informing people, and they are making them cautious about not to get into any such schemes.
So are you saying that as on date there is no set mechanism to catch or trace these people?
They're almost helpless, almost. I mean, to an extent. They're only because what is happening is if these people are coming into a MLM scheme or something, they have their coordinates there. But if in case they are into the natural mining piece, what they're doing is they are utilizing your CPUs, they're utilizing your energy over there on your systems. They're analyzing, they're also utilizing your time. That is, they'll ask you to view some videos where they are making some big time money there. And what is
basically this is a fraud where not a lot of investment is required.
Absolutely. So I'll give you an example for this. Let's say 1,000 people at the same time, their CPU is being utilized, their energy is being utilized to mine a Bitcoin, and certain part of that Bitcoin, maybe so I'll give you an example for this. Around 10 crore satoshis, which is again a digital coin, converts into 1 Bitcoin. So what they're doing is they're sending it to 1,000 people. These 1,000 people are being used. They are used to mine these satoshis for them, and then they collect it and they get a certain part of Bitcoin, and they then finally tell you to watch some videos, or that your account is blocked, or you've not done something certain on a basis. So this is how you get duped. So that's very tough altogether. And second is the MLM schemes which are running. So these MLM schemes can any which ways be traced, where people are there existing in your own country. But if you talk about the global cheats and fraudster, it is very, very difficult. In fact, almost impossible at this point in time, where Canadian anti-fraud centers are also reporting about the same. So it's difficult.
Himanshu Verma, thanks a lot for elaborating how exactly this fraud goes by, and we hope that the viewers who are watching CNN News 18 might have been able to pick a few tips on how to avoid these fraudsters who are related to cryptocurrency companies. With that, we have to get into a short break now, but more news and updates continue here on CNN News 18. Stay tuned.